गुड इवनिंग टू ऑल ऑफ यू। कैसे हैं सब लोग? होप ऑल आर वेल। टुडे टॉपिक इज चार्ज of GST, in which we are going to discuss majorly section 9 and section 10 of CGST Act, and also we will discuss the section 5 of IGST Act. But the point is, what is the importance of this chapter? This chapter or this section 9 decide the leviability of the GST, meaning thereby if particular transaction is leviable to GST, to whom we say the taxable supplies, we can derive the leviability and non-leviable to tax both from this section. So, and also, and if the tax will be paid by whom, whether the tax will be paid by the supplier or by the recipient, if the tax will be paid by the recipient, then we call as reverse charge. That will also be decided by 9.3 and 9.4. So the today topic is very interesting. Let me start the topic. So as I use the word that supply which is taxable and supply which is non-taxable. So first start and read the definition of the taxable supply. Means a supply of the goods or services which is leviable to tax is a taxable supply. What is the non-taxable supplies? Means supply of the goods or services or both which is not leviable to tax is non-taxable supplies. Read the definition. We had completed the definition. Now we are going to the section 9 and then we'll move to the reverse charge mechanism. Section 9, subsection 1, it says first we will read the bare language, Barakka language, and then we will move to the analysis part. Subject to the provision of subsection 2, there shall be levied a tax called CGST on all intra-state supply. It means if the supply is intra means within the state, then which tax will be leviable? CGST. Similarly, when I will read the section 5 of IGST Act, you will find instead of intra, the word inter would be there. Instead of CGST, the word IGST would be there. Now they are accepting certain transaction, except on the supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. According to 9 subsection 1, GST can't be levied on alcoholic liquor for human consumption. And also when you discuss or when you recall the definition given in the Constitution of India regarding the GST, you can find the alcoholic liquor for human consumption are being excluded from their definition of the GST as well. So, by virtue of the 9 subsection 1 along with definition given in the Indian Constitution for GST, we can say the alcoholic liquor for human consumption is not leviable to GST. So, first item to whom we can say it is a non-taxable supplies. Let's read further. On the value determined under section 15. So it means GST will be levied on which value? The value which will be determined according to section 15. What is the section 15? Section 15 you will discuss in the respective chapter, but section 15 simply tell that GST will be payable on the transaction value subject to certain condition, and there are some inclusion, there are some exclusion, there are some valuation rule. You will calculate the value according to section 15 plus at which rate. They are not specifying the exact rate in the section. They are saying at such rate not exceeding 20%. So the maximum GST rate would be 20. 20, which section we are reading? 9 subsection 1 of CGST Act. 9 subsection 1 of CGST Act, meaning thereby similar amount percentage would be there for SGST. Therefore, we are saying that maximum GST ka rate would be 40%. Maximum rate. Is there any product on which 40% is leviable? Answer is no. As of now, the maximum tax ka rate is 28%. But they can go up to 40%. Then exact rate will be notified. What is the meaning of notify? It means government will issue the notification and they will specify the rate which is applicable to respective product, respective goods or services. On the recommendation of the council and collected in such manner as may be prescribed. So how the amount, how the tax would be collected, they will prescribe the manner and shall be paid by the taxable person. Correct? Let's read 9 subsection 2. So 9 subsection 2 says the CGST, central tax on supply of the 5 specified petroleum product, petroleum crude, HSD, natural gas, aviation turbine fuel, and motor spirit. These are the 5 specified petroleum products on which GST will be levied with effect from the date as may be notified by the government on the recommendation of the council. See, it means if the government like to bring the GST on the petroleum product, what they need? Do they need the amendment in the constitution? Answer is no. They simply need the recommendation of the council. Once the decision in the council be approved by all the member by as per the percentage given in the law, then the GST would be applicable on petroleum product. But for bringing the GST on the alcoholic liquor for human consumption, can they bring through GST council? Answer is no, because they have to amend the definition of GST given in the Indian Constitution. As of now, I can say by virtue of the 9(1), GST is not there on alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Plus, as per 9 subsection 2, the GST is not leviable on 5 specified petroleum product. So if I say what is the non-taxable supply according to charging section, according to charging section, the alcoholic liquor for human consumption and 5 specified petroleum products are non-taxable supplies. Alcoholic liquor for human consumption and 5 specified petroleum products are non-taxable supplies on which GST is not leviable for the time being. Mansa, I request that the question would be better if we limit the respective chapter. I do not have any problem as such, but we will limit the respective chapter. The chapter which is going on, we will discuss the queries on that chapter. At the end, you can ask, no problem. Good evening to all of you. So, now we are moving to the reverse charge mechanism. What is the reverse charge mechanism? As we have discussed that reverse charge means the tax will be paid by the recipient instead of the supplier. Correct? So, if the transaction is being notified, if the transaction is being notified in reverse charge, then the tax will be paid only by the recipient on which the supplier can't pay the taxes. Who is imposing this restriction, or from where the government bringing the power to notify certain category of the goods or services or the class of the person under reverse charge? Broadly, I can say the reverse charge can be divided in two parts. One is 9 subsection 3 and one is 9 subsection 4. One is 9 subsection 3 and one is 9 subsection 4. I am talking about the reverse charge mechanism. The government, on recommendation of the council, by notification, it means to notify the goods or services on which RCM is applicable under 9(3), the government will issue the notification. They can specify the categories of goods or services, the tax on which shall be paid by the recipient under reverse charge basis. Now they are saying, and all the provision shall apply to that recipient as if he is the person liable to pay the tax in relation to that supply. It means he will treated like if he is a supplier, then what tax rate would be applicable, what all provision would be applicable. In the same pattern, he will pay the tax. It means he will fit into the shoes of supplier. So he is the recipient paying the tax and the reverse charge, but for the purpose of this compliances, he will be treated as equal to supplier. So the question is, what tax rate he will pay? Like he is a supplier and he is supplying that goods or services, then respective tax rate he has to pay. So similarly. Now let's move to the 9 subsection 4. The 9 subsection 4. So what is the history of the 9 subsection 4? Initially, when the let me give the answer of the certain question. Exempt supply include non-taxable, means those items can be called as exempt supply. Nee. Mansa, first is taxable supplies. See, if I talk about the supply can be broadly defined in two categories. Either supply would be taxable or not leviable to tax. Broadly, supply can be either taxable, leviable to tax, or non-tax, or not leviable to tax. So the broadly there can be only two categories of the supply. One is taxable supplies, one is non-taxable supplies. Now, in the taxable supplies, government have the right to issue the notification to specify the rate. So they can specify the 5%, 12%, 18, 28, whatever that, or even they can issue the exemption notification. They also have the power to issue the exemption notification. So it means the product which is exempted, basically that is supplies taxable. It is leviable to tax, but for the time being, general public use, they have classified or they have categorized as exempted. So rate of tax is 0. There is no rate of tax on that particular product. Now, this is rate of tax is exempted. It means either they can be having some tax rate or they can having some exempted. But word exempt supply altogether different. Please do not mix with non-taxable and exempt in this. So either the product are taxable or the product are non-taxable. If it is taxable, it may carry some tax rate by notification, or it may be exempted category of the goods. But I'm not using the word exempt supply. I'm not using the word exempt supply because exempt supply altogether, it is separately defined in section 2 clause 47 of CGST Act. The three types of the supply are exempt. One, which is exempted by notification using the power of section 6 or section 11. Correct? So that is on which the rate of the tax are not there or exempted. So that is we have discussed in the taxable supply also. Second is nil rated supplies that is also being covered. Third is non-taxable supplies. Whether non-taxable supply is the taxable supply, the answer would be no. I hope it is clear. What is the reason for not leaving the GST for the petrol and diesel in that only because there is a state excise duty and because there is a excise duty and huge collection. So the state are ready to give the consent on GST subject to two conditions. If the alcoholic liquor for human consumption and petrol will not bring into the GST ambit, then only they will give the consent. With these two promise, they have given the consent. Because almost 40-42% का revenue, state का revenue comes from these two products only because there's a huge excise duty and VAT both. Alcoholic liquor, it is subject to the state का excise duty and petrol is subject to the state का VAT. If we get notes as soon as possible, we can also read side by side. I think I will check tomorrow. Because once today class would be completed, I would not be able to check. So I will check tomorrow regarding that my notes, uploading of my notes. Okay. Now we were talking about 9 subsection 4. Slight history of the 9 subsection 4. When the GST was introduced, 9 subsection 4 was very danger. Why it was danger? Because it was on every taxable supplies of the goods or services where supplier is unregistered person, recipient is registered person, then recipient has to pay the tax under reverse charge. On every taxable supplies of the goods and services, there was one exemption of the up to 5,000 per day. So it bring the leviability or applicability of the tax in almost all items. It unnecessarily increase the compliance. So finally on 13th of October 2017, this was postponed. Applicability of the 9(4) was suspended and it was keep on postponed. And finally, the language of the 9(4) was amended. Section 9 subsection 4 itself was amended from 1 Feb 2019. 1st Feb 2019, section 9 subsection 4 was substituted. The language is, and they have added the word notification. They have added the word notification. What happened by this? Now, the 9 subsection 4 will not be applicable on all supplies. It will be applicable to the supplies which are given in the notification. Might be. Then you ask the counter question. So what is the difference then between 9.3 and 9.4? Because 9.3 is also talking about certain notification. 9.4 is also talking about certain category of the goods and services notified. Then you tell me, what is the difference than 9.3 and 9.4? What is the requirement of the 9.4? It should be merged with 9.3. The answer is only one difference. Only one biggest difference. In 9 subsection 3, supplier can be registered or can be unregistered subject to the respective category of the goods or services. But for applicability of the 9 subsection 4, one thing is clear. Supplier has to be unregistered person. This is the major difference after 1st Feb 2019. Once the 9.4 ka language has been modified, has been substituted, then it is exactly similar to the 9.3. Only one major difference, that in the 9.3, supplier can be registered or can be unregistered subject to the respective category. But in the 9 subsection 4, supplier has to be unregistered, then only the 9.4 would be applicable. Otherwise, if the supplier is registered, one thing is sure, 9.4 can't be applicable. So 9.4 says government by notification specify the class of the registered person who shall, in respect of the supply of specified categories of the goods or services or both. Now this please underline, received from unregistered supplier. So this is creating the difference between 93 and 94. Pay the tax on the RCM as the recipient, and all the provision of this act shall apply to such recipient as if he is the person liable for paying the tax in relation to that supply. So this is the difference in 93 and 94. Let me read the language of the section 5 of IGST Act. What I told you, that instead of CGST you will find the word IGST. Instead of intra you will find the word inter. Instead of 20 you will find the 40%. Rest all the language are same. Subject to the provision of subsection 2, there shall be levied a tax called IGST on all interstate supply except alcoholic liquor for human consumption, on which value the tax would be levied as per section 15 of CGST Act. And what could be the maximum tax rate? Not exceeding 40%. Exact tax rate will be notified by the government. So the government will issue the notification. Okay, and collected in the manner as may be prescribed. One minute. So 9 subsection 1 and 5 subsection 1 are same. This proviso is very important because the goods imported into India, IGST on import of goods, IGST on import of goods, how the tax would be levied? Proviso say that integrated tax on imported goods imported into India shall be levied and collected, not according to the GST provision. It will be levied and collected in accordance with the Custom Tariff Act Section 3. It means on the value as determined under the said Act at the point when duties of custom are levied on the said goods under Section 12 of the Custom Act. Means the value, the time, who will decide? Everything will be decided by the Custom Tariff Act. So it means we are paying the custom duty at the time of custom clearance while filing the bill of entry. At the same time, we will pay IGST on import of the goods. On which value? Assessable value as determined according to the Custom Act. So everything will be governed by the Custom Tariff Act. Can anybody know the name of the custom portal by which we are paying the custom duty, etc.? Please tell me the name of custom government portal by which we are paying the custom duty, etc. Please tell the name of in the chat. Because this is the tax which will be paid. This is the only GST which will be paid outside the GST portal through government portal. What is the name? Name is, yes, absolutely correct, ICEGATE. ICEGATE. ICEGATE means ICEGATE is the government custom portal by which we are paying the duties at the time of custom clearance. So when you file the GST returns, you all know that we all are paying the taxes according to the calculation. We are paying the taxes through GSTR 3B, through PMT 06. But this import of the goods, you will pay the tax not through 3B, you will pay the tax through ICEGATE. Very nice, very nice. Now, can sorry, let me complete the section 5, then I will ask the question. Section 5 subsection 2 says that IGST on 5 specified petroleum product shall be levied with effect from such date as may be notified by the government on the recommendation of the council. Again, alcoholic liquor has been excluded from 5.1 and 5 specified petroleum product has been excluded from the 9 subsection 2 or 5 subsection 2. 9.5.3 and 5.4 language are exactly same. No language, no changes in the language. You can read government on the recommendation of the council by notification specify the categories on which tax shall be paid on reverse charge basis by the recipient, and all the provision of this act apply to the recipient as if he is making the supply. Now the 9.4 you will find everything same by notification and received from unregistered supplier. Rest all the things are same. Now, what is the things which has been notified in the 9.3? What are the goods and services which has been notified in the 9.4? We will discuss. And some category we will do the analysis in detail. Any question as of now? Please tell me. So this language is clear. I'm skipping this language. Now, before reading the provision, you tell me, can give me some example, 2 or 3 example for goods, 2 and 3 example for services which are covered under reverse charge under section 9 subsection 3. I'm asking the question to all of you. आप मुझे कम से कम 2-3 एग्जाम्पल दीजिए गुड्स का, 2-3 एग्जाम्पल सर्विसेज का दीजिए जिसपे टैक्स रिवर्स चार्ज में रिसिपिएंट पे करता है अंडर सेक्शन 9 सबसेक्शन 3. Vansika, name of the custom portal is ICEGATE, ICEGATE, ICEGATE. Give me the name of 2-3 goods and name of the 2-3 services on which the tax will be paid by the recipient under reverse charge basis. That is my question under 9 subsection 3. First, I'm talking about the goods. Then I'm talking about the services. 2-3 name for the goods and 2-3 name for the services. Correct. So still I have not received, except one participant, I have not received the name of goods on which RCM is applicable. Correct. Tobacco. Nah. Very nice. Cashew nuts, BD wrapper, tendu leaf, silk yarn, raw cotton, confiscated goods by the government. Thank you so much. What about the services? GTA, royalty, legal services, then insurance, then sponsorship. Wow. Very nice. Insurance agent, security services. Very nice, Rajiv. Software import. Okay. Technical services from headquarters. Not technical. Technical from headquarters. So you are talking about import of services, is it? ये कहां से लेके आ गया आप राजीव? नहीं समझ में आया मुझे। री इम्पोर्ट ऑफ द गुड्स आफ्टर रिपेयर, हाउ इट कुड बी आरसीएम? Service transportation, right? Transportation services, very nice. Transportation is 5%. Import of professional services, no. Okay, Abdul. Mohammad Abdul, I'm right. Okay, you are right, correct. Cashew nuts, tobacco, pan masala. Whether pan masala is also under RCM? Whether pan masala is also under RCM? Pan masala. Tobacco itself is under RCM. Tobacco leaves, tendu leaves, that is under RCM, but tobacco or pan masala, it is not under RCM. So, almost all services has been mentioned by each one of you. Now let's move. In the 9 subsection 3, this is the notification. So always remember this chart, not necessarily from exam point of view, but for practical also it is very relevant. You can make this chart regarding the number of basically notification number, goods, services. Okay. Rate, exemption, and RCA. For rate 1 by 2017, central tax rate. For services, the rate notification is 11 by 2017, central tax rate. In short, I'm writing CT. What about the exemption? The list of the exempted item will be given in 2 by 2017 CT rate. Services 12 by 2017 CT rate. These notifications are of 2017, but whenever the rate are being changed, whenever the exemption are being added or omitted, or whenever new RCM entry is being added or omitted, then they will change by issuing the new notification, but amending the principal notification. It means it will be inserted or omitted in the main notification itself. So therefore, we can say you have to download these notification as amended. Regarding the RCM for goods, it is 4 by 2017 CTR. And regarding the services, 13 by 2017, all notification are central tax rate. Similar notification you will find under integrated tax rate. Number would be changed. But the concept remains same. So I hope you have made the chart. So if you not made the chart, kindly take the photo or something like that. It is very important for all of you. So now we are talking about like services RCM under 9 subsection 3. So you will refer the notification 13 for services, and for goods you will refer the notification 4 by 2017. As of now, I am talking about 9 subsection 3 wala RCM. Okay. Now, supply of services taxable under RCM. That is the services where the tax is payable by the recipient. Notification 13 by 2017, central tax rate dated 28 June, as amended, has notified the following category of the services wherein the tax will be paid under reverse charge by the recipient. Okay. Category number 1, we are going to discuss in detail. So what is that? GTA. So for the time being, we are keeping on hold this entry GTA. Or let's read one by one. Sorry, let me start GTA, and along with analysis only we are starting. Supply of services by GTA in respect of goods transportation by road. To whom? To 7 specified categories of the recipient. Try to understand. If the supplier is the GTA providing the service of goods transportation by road to 7 specified categories of the recipient. Who are the 7 specified categories of the recipient? Factory registered under Factories Act. Now, the factory can be registered under the GST or can be unregistered under the GST. In all cases, the factory being a recipient need to pay the tax under reverse charge always. If the factory is unregistered, we all know. If you tell me, I'm asking one question. Let me take the input. Let's say one goods transport agency is registered in the GST. They are providing the service to the factory who is not registered in the GST, unregistered factory. And let's say they have not opted forward charge. Now, please tell me, the tax will be paid by the recipient under RCM, the tax will be paid by the GT or the no tax. Tax will be paid by the factory, tax will be paid by the GT or no tax. This is my question. Because the important point is the factory is not registered in the GST. Factory is unregistered. So therefore, now my question is, who will pay the tax? Whether they have to take registration or liability shifted to the GTA or there is no tax. Whether the factory will take the mandatory registration, how they will pay the tax? Without registering in the GST, they can't pay the tax. First, confirm that please all the participants, I'm requesting every participant, please confirm that you are the student of CA final. Am I right? You all are the student of CA final? You all are the student of CA final? एक बार just quickly confirm कर दीजिए. Now, when the right answer is factory will pay the tax by taking the mandatory registration. Very important point, which you all remember, section 24, clause 3, talking about if RCM is applicable. If RCM is applicable, then the recipient has to take mandatory registration. Recipient has to take mandatory registration. Correct? So in this example, because supplier has not opted forward charge, GTA has not opted forward charge, then the tax will be paid by the factory itself. Because the factory is unregistered, by virtue of the section 24, clause 3, they have to take mandatory registration and pay the tax under reverse charge basis. Okay? So if GTA provide the service to the 7 specified categories of the recipient. Who are the 7 specified category? Factory, society, cooperative society, Clause D is talking about GST registered person. Any person who is registered in the GST. Any body corporate, any partnership firm, and any casual taxable person. So these are the 7 specified categories of the recipient. Let's recall the name. Factory, society, cooperative society, registered person in the GST, then body corporate, partnership firm, and CTP, casual taxable person. If the recipient is, these are the 7 specified categories, then the tax will be paid by the recipient under reverse charge. Be careful, out of the 7 specified category, only 1 category they are talking about registered person. In rest of the category, they have not used the word registered in the GST. It means whether they are registered or not, if recipient fall in these category, then they have to take mandatory registration in the GST by virtue of the section 24 clause 3 and pay the tax under reverse charge. Now there is one proviso which says that if GTA provide the service to the government, which government? Who is registered only for the purpose of TDS under GST. Can anybody tell me quickly? Can anybody tell me what is the rate of the taxes which the government will deduct the same from supplier under GST? What is the rate of the TDS under GST? Is it? You tell me what is the rate of the GST under TDS category? कितना % गवर्नमेंट डिडक्ट करेगी? Which government? Department or establishment of the central government, state government, local authority, government agency. And then clause D is talking about notified person. So these are the provision of section 51. If the GTA provide the service to these section 51 registered person who registered only for the purpose of TDS, they are government, so government related entities, and they are registered only for the purpose of TDS. It means they are not registered under regular category. They are not making any outward taxable supplies. They are registered only for the TDS. It means if inward supplies is being received, they will deduct at the rate of 2% if the value is exceeding 2.50 lakhs. Total contract value exceed 2.50 lakhs. In that case, the TDS would be applicable. Then now the GTA providing the C, very carefully. Again, I'm going back to the clause D. What is the clause D? Any person registered under GST in any category, whether it is ISD category, whether it is casual taxable person category, whether it is normal category, whether it is composition category, whether it is TCS category, any category, if they have taken the registration in the GST, they will be called as registered under GST. Now it means for all category, the recipient has to pay the tax under RCM. Now they have excluded only one category, that TDS. Otherwise, TDS is also the registered person, but they are saying if government is registered only for the purpose of TDS, that is section 51, then no RCM. No RCM. Now, if you go to the exemption chapter, you will find the serial number 21B of exemption notification, wherein services provided by the GTA to this government who is registered only for the purpose of TDS, service itself is exempted. So what is the answer? That if the GTA provide the service to the government who is registered only for TDS, it means service itself is exempted, no question of tax. I hope it is clear. एक बार confirm करो. Please confirm. I hope it is clear. Kindly confirm. Whereas if any cooperative society have taken the service of the GTA, they have to pay the tax and the reverse charge. Uh, can you explain again? Sure, I will explain in short. Now, if the GTA provide the service to the 7 specified category, then recipient will pay the tax and the reverse charge. In the 7 category, one category is GST registered person. It means that category will cover every type of the registration, ISD, TCS, TDS, every. But now only for the TDS, they have given the exclusion. It means if the GTA provide the service to the TDS registered person only, then no RCM. Then doubt was whether forward charge would be applicable. For that, they have added one more category in the exemption notification, serial number 21B, that if the GTA provide the service to such government entity who is registered only for TDS, service itself would be exempted. So therefore, there is no question of tax, neither forward nor RC. ठीक है? ठीक है बेटा? Now, let's move further. The supplier has, it further says, supplier means GTA. GTA has taken the registration under GST and exercise the option to pay the tax under forward charge. Now, last year, July 2022, one new concept was introduced for the GTA. There is one annexure 5. So this form is not relevant for you. Number is not relevant for you, but I'm telling you the concept. Mr. A, who is a GTA, and he like to pay the tax under forward charge. He has to file this declaration, annexure 5, for opting the forward charge. For opting the forward charge. If the GTA who has opted forward charge, then whomsoever is recipient, doesn't matter, the tax will be paid by the supplier. Please understand in very conceptual manner, in very detail. Let me repeat once again. When we read the language of the 9 subsection 3 or 9 subsection 4, it appears that tax will be paid by the recipient always. Tax will be paid by the recipient always. Always RCM. Unless and until, now I'm adding the word, unless and until option of opting the forward charge is being given in the notification itself. Now see the GTA category. Suppose if this proviso was not there, assume had the proviso not there, then on the GTA transaction, forward charge cannot be there. It will only under RCM. Because of this proviso, GTA has the option to charge the GST, and if the GTA has opted forward charge, then they are saying nothing contained in this entry shall apply. Means above RCM entry will not be applicable. When it not applicable, if GTA has opted forward charge and GTA who is issuing the tax invoice is giving the declaration. There is a one declaration that giving the declaration on that invoice, that tax will be paid by the supplier, not by the recipient. So language we will discuss in the invoice accounts and records chapter, but I'm telling you the concept. So first they have to give the they have to opt forward charge. They have to submit the annexure 5 by the due date, they have to submit. Once it is submitted, then they will charge GST. Now, the GTA, the two rate are notified: 5% without ITC or 12% with the ITC. It means if the GTA who has opted forward charge, he can charge GST at the rate of 5% or at the rate of 12%. What is the difference? 5% is without ITC and 12% is with input tax credit. Can goods transport agency, listen my question carefully, and I'm expecting the answer from each and every participant. One GTA who has opted forward charge, can he charge 5% under forward charge for some customer, and can he charge 12% for some customer? My question is, can he charge both the tax rate transaction wise 5% and for some transaction 12% if he has opted forward charge in one financial year? मेरा क्वेश्चन है, एक जेटीए जिसने फॉरवर्ड चार्ज ऑप्ट किया है, क्या वो 5 और 12 दोनों रेट चार्ज कर सकता है फॉर डिफरेंट डिफरेंट ट्रांजेक्शन? फॉर सम ही कैन ऑप्ट 5, फॉर सम ही कैन चार्ज 12. इज इट पॉसिबल और it is not possible? That is my question. Please note that it is possible. So in this chart, in this particular table, I am explaining what is possible and what is not possible. Learn carefully. There is a huge amendment in the last year, July 2022, with respect to GTA. If he has opted forward charge, then he can charge 5% plus 12% simultaneously in the same year, no problem. But what is not possible? Not possible means forward charge for some transaction and reverse charge for some transaction. This combination is not possible. Either he has to opt forward. If not opted, it means he is under RCM. This is not possible, that in the same year, can he carry both the things, forward charge and RCM? Answer is no. He has to opt forward charge if he like to charge the GST. But if he has opted forward charge, then he can charge 5% for some customer and 12% for some customer, no problem. 5% will be without ITC and 12% will be with ITC. If he is charging both the rate for different transaction, then 17 subsection 2 of IGST Act will come into the CGST Act will come into the picture, and proportionate reversal will be applicable as per rule 4243. ये बात क्लियर है? Is it clear? What is possible and what is not possible? He has to opt only forward charge. While giving the declaration in the annexure 5, he is not required to mention which tax rate he like to opt. No, both the rate are open. Therefore, under the forward charge, he can go for 5 or 12 possible. Before July 2022, it was not possible. Before July 22, it was not possible. But now it become possible from July 22 onward because of the various amendment. विनय जी समझ में नहीं आया, विनय सी समझ में नहीं आया क्या कहना चाहते हैं? सेम इन केस ऑफ द ब्रिक्स मैन्युफैक्चर. सो एज ऑफ नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द, मतलब मुझे वो नोटिफिकेशन आपके साथ शेयर करना पड़ेगा, देन आई हैव टू डिस्कस द लैंग्वेज. I do not remember the rate of tax on bricks manufacture. There is also 6% concept is applicable, but I cannot comment on that bricks wala concept. But yes, GTA is there. This is the GTA concept. I hope this chart is clear to all. Any notification regard what is possible scenario? No separate notification. You have to read this notification itself 13, wherein earlier there was a concept of only 6% that has been omitted. By that omission, it is clear picture that now in the forward charge you can go for both the rate. In short, both not possible wala scenario is very simple. Forward charge and RCM cannot be possible in one financial year. What is the forward charge? Wherein the GTA is charging the GST on the invoice. What is the RCM? Wherein the GTA is not charging the GST, recipient is paying the tax. So both situation is not possible in the same financial year. At the same time, not possible. But if he has opted forward, then he can go for 5 or 12 both at the same time, no problem. So this situation, I hope it is clear. Registered GTA exercising the option to pay itself the tax, it means forward charge, 5% without ITC. Person liable to pay the GST is the GTA. Person liable to pay the GST is the GTA. 12% forward charge. Okay. GTA does not exercise the option to pay 5%, but under RCM. But if the GTA not opting forward charge, it means the reverse charge would be applicable. In that case, there would always be 5%, and this 5% will be with ITC. 5% will be with ITC for the CPA. 5% without ITC is for supplier. In the forward charge, when you see the rate notification, and in the rate notification, if you see the respective entry 9965 against SEC code 9965 or 9967, okay, wherein you will find the restriction of not taking the ITC is only for the GTA. It means against 5% in forward charge, there is no ITC. But in the RCM, there is no restriction in the rate notification. Therefore, recipient will pay 5% and also he will enjoy the ITC subject to the condition 16, 17 and 18 of CGST Act. RCM applicable only where GTS service provider are not registered. Nee. Might be the GT is registered. See, there could be this very good question. There could be the scenario GTA who is registered in the GST. If he like to go forward charge, he has to submit the annexure 5. And if he does not submit, then he will be under RCM. It means he will not pay the tax. So if the GT is registered, we cannot say the tax will always be paid by the GTA. No. For paying the GTA, for paying the tax by the GTA, he has to file the declaration. Then only the transaction will be under forward charge. You remember, we have discussed in the 9 subsection 3 and 9 subsection 4. What is the major difference? In 9 subsection 3, 9 subsection 4, what is the major difference? In 9.4, supplier has to unregistered But in the 9(3), supplier can be registered or can be unregistered. So it means if GTA, who is registered but not filled the declaration, then he's paying the, or he's providing the service to the factory. Who will pay the tax? The CPA. Sir, even though GTA is registered, RCM is applicable. Yes, sir. Because in the 9(3), supplier can be registered or can be unregistered. I hope, Rajiv, is it clear? चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. Now, go back. I think this particular GTA entry has been completed. Correct, man. Huh. Now, one more point I like to discuss. If the GTA provide the service to other than 7 category, if the GTA provide the service to the other than 7 category, any example? Let me tell you the example. Let's say one GTA providing the service to a shopkeeper. Shopkeeper doing the business, but because his turnover is below threshold limit, 40 lakhs or whatever the limit, because it may vary from the state to state. The shopkeeper who is an individual, is neither factory, nor society, nor cooperative society, not body corporate, not partnership firm, not casual taxable person, not registered in the GST. It means he is other than 7 specified category. Now, GTA is registered in the GST, but he has not filed declaration for forward charge. Now, GTA provide the service to individual shopkeeper unregistered in the GST. Who will pay the tax? GTA providing the service to the individual shopkeeper not registered in the GST. My question is, now on shifting of the business goods of that shopkeeper, who will pay the tax on this transaction? Individual shopkeeper take registration and pay the tax. GTA has to pay the tax or no tax? Rajiv, in the government GST portal, there is in the drop down services tab, there is one to file the declaration of annexure 5. So simply you have to go to that particular tab, click on that annexure 5 and submit the same with OTP. That's it. It is a very simple process. The right answer for this question is the transaction is exempted in the GST. Transaction is exempted in the GST by virtue of the serial number 21A of exemption notification. So exemption notification for services is 12/2017, right? CT rate. Serial number 21A says if GTA provides the service to the other than 7 specified categories, unregistered other than 7 category, okay, service itself would be exempted. Therefore, there is no question of tax. So from my side, the GTA part is completed. Let me move to the another part. So first category is completed, which is being also discussed in detail. Then which part is analyzed? Let me see first, which is being analyzed in detail in the study material. Motor vehicle is being discussed in detail. Okay. and then remuneration paid to the director is discussed in detail. That's it. So 3 entry I have to discuss in detail. Rest is only entry I will explain. Because it is being covered in detail, I think, in the CA inter, right? Now, because of serial number 2, if you have any question, you may ask. No, in this transaction, who will pay the tax? The tax will be paid, no tax, because of serial number 21 of exemption notification. Is it clear? Yes, Vinay has given the correct answer and Mr. Balaji has given the correct answer. No, Balaji, you are saying shopkeeper. No. Because situation, transaction is exempted and therefore there is no question of tax. Clear है क्योंकि most of the participants were saying either GTA or the shopkeeper. No one is saying except one participant. No one is saying that service itself is exempted. No one is saying except Vinay. No one is saying that service itself is exempted. So please confirm, is it clear to all or do I need to explain again? Is it clear to all or any specific doubt you may ask or anything else you are expecting, please tell me. All are clear. Great. Now, we all know the services provided by whether it is individual advocate, senior advocate, or firm of advocate provided to the business entity located in the taxable territory, then the recipient will pay the tax under reverse charge. Meaning of the legal service has been given in respect of any law, whether it is GST, whether it is income tax, whether it is excise duty, whether it is criminal law, whether it is civil law, any law, and it include advice, consultancy, assistance, or including representational services. It means whether he's taking the charges only for providing the advice, consultancy, retainership, or he is presenting to the court. No matter, every services would be called as legal. The recipient will pay the tax under reverse charge. You remember that there is one exemption notification 12/2017, serial number 45, which talks about if advocate provide the service to the individual who is not doing the business, service itself is exempted. If advocate providing the service to the business entity but not registered because turnover is below threshold limit, again service itself is exempted. If advocates or senior advocate or firm of the advocate providing the service to the government, central government, state government, local authority, then service itself would be exempted. And one more serial number, it is written, a form of partnership firm or individual advocate providing the service to the another advocate, then service itself would be exempted. So all the exemption notification, you have to compare with the RCM notification. Then only you can give the correct answer whether supplier will pay the tax, recipient will pay the tax or no tax. So then only you can give the correct answer. Arbitral tribunal provided to the business, service provided by the arbitral tribunal to the business, again RCM. Sponsorship services given to body corporate or partnership firm located in the taxable territory, these entity will pay the tax. Suppose you tell me if sponsorship services given to the factory, both are registered in the GST. It is ABC Private Limited providing the sponsorship services to the factory. Both parties are registered in the GST. RCM is applicable or forward charge? Whether supplier will pay the tax or recipient will pay the tax. Who will pay the tax? सप्लायर की रिसिपिएंट, who will pay the tax? Supplier की recipient. Means ABC Private Limited will pay the tax or factory will pay the tax? Answer is forward charge. Supplier will pay the tax. Again, develop the concept for RCM. When all the conditions are satisfied of that notification, then only RCM. What does it mean? It means service is sponsorship services. Supplier could be anybody. Recipient should be company or partnership firm. Then only it will be covered under RCM. In my question, I was saying that recipient is not body corporate, not partnership. It is a factory. Let's say proprietorship running the factory. Then, because the recipient is not in the specified category, therefore no question of RCM. See, one thing, please develop one thing with respect to RCM chapter. With respect to category, with respect to supplier, with respect to recipient, if all three conditions are satisfied, then only recipient will pay the tax under reverse charge. If any one condition, any of the condition is not satisfied, then no question of RCM. Like in this example I've given, sponsorship services given by any person to the proprietorship firm. Will the tax be paid under reverse charge? No, because this condition is satisfied. This condition is satisfied, but this is not satisfied. No question of RCM. Next, services given by the government will be under reverse charge. Services given by the government to the business entity located in the taxable territory will be under reverse charge. Apart from few entry. What are the few entry? Renting of immovable property will always be under forward charge. Service by Department of the Post will always be under forward charge. In relation to aircraft, vessel, renting in relation to the aircraft will always be under forward charge. Transportation of goods or passenger will always be under forward charge. Apart from these entry, services given by the government, the tax will be paid by the business entity located in the taxable territory. It means the recipient will pay the tax under reverse charge. Supplier should be central government, state government, union territory, or local authority. Now, the government was liable to pay the tax under forward charge because of this particular exclusion. Government were liable to pay the tax under forward charge because of this exclusion. Now the problem is, most of the time government has to take registration because of this renting of the property. So in the villages, there is a huge property with the government or local authority or union territory. They are giving on rent. They are paying the tax under forward charge because it is being excluded. Then they have inserted new entry 5A. They are saying if renting of immovable property service has been given to the registered person, then it is under RCM. It means now this part has been divided. This service has been divided in two parts. If recipient is registered in the GST, then RCM. Because of serial number 5A. If recipient is unregistered but doing the business entity, then it will be under forward charge because of serial number 5. Okay. Serial number 5AA was inserted. Very, very important. Service by way of renting of residential dwelling. Service by way of renting of residential dwelling to the registered person is taxable under reverse charge. So the property is the residential property. Let's say the property is the residential property. I have given on rent to whom? To registered person in the GST. Now, whether he is using for office purpose or he has given to the worker, staff for stay, doesn't matter. If the property, which property? All property? No, sir. Residential dwelling. If the residential dwelling has been given to the registered person, if the residential dwelling has been given to the registered person, then registered person will pay the tax under reverse charge. If it is unregistered person, service itself is exempted under serial number 12 of notification 12 by 2017. Two possibility: residential dwelling given to the registered, RCM; given to unregistered, exempted. If it is a commercial property given to registered or unregistered, always forward charge. Always forward charge. Now, on 1/4/2019, there was big change in the real estate sector. There was big changes from GST perspective on the real estate sector. Under 9 subsection 3, the two new entry has been inserted on which promoter will pay the tax under reverse charge. What are the entry? The entries are service supplied by person by way of the transfer of the development right, FSI, or long-term lease. So, suppose I am the owner of the property, I am the owner of the land, and that land I have given as a FSI or TDR to the promoter for developing the flats. In that case, that promoter will pay the tax under reverse charge. What are the changes on the 1/4/2019 with respect to real estate sector? The first change is 5B and 5C has been inserted. And second change is 9 subsection 4 was made effective only on this real estate sector. What are the entries? There are total 3 serial number covered in the 9 subsection 4. We will discuss in the respective pages. Not now, but now let's take a break of 15 minutes. We will resume at 7:35. We can start the break. We will resume after 15 minutes. 7:35 we will resume, and then we will start with the director services under reverse charge. Ashokji, kindly start the break. Start now. So now we need to discuss the reverse charge applicability on the director remuneration, on the director service. The detailed analysis has been given. We will discuss. What is the nature of transaction if services has been given by whom? Director of company or body corporate, and the recipient is the company or body corporate located in the taxable territory. Then who will pay the tax? The company will pay the tax under reverse charge. One simple example, let's say I am a director of XYZ Limited, and on attending the board meeting, I'm getting, let's say, 50,000 rupees sitting fees. Then the sitting fees, which is being given by me to the company will pay the tax under reverse charge. Now the question was whether director remuneration will be under reverse charge. I am a director, I'm also getting the remuneration. So will the company pay the tax under reverse charge or not? I like to see the reply from each of the participants that what would be your view if I'm a director getting the remuneration. Will the company pay the tax under reverse charge because of this entry or not? Now this situation that director remuneration will always be taxable under reverse charge. Will it come under forward charge or will it be no tax? Please compare with the schedule 3. Please compare with the schedule 3 para number 1. What is that? I like to see the answer from each participant by interlinking with the schedule 3. Who will pay the tax? Now the answer is director. We have to see which director. Is it a regular director or is it a independent director? Why? So if I am a regular director of the company, then the director remuneration received by me, it is nothing but salary. And the salary service given by the employee to the employer is covered under the schedule 3. What is the schedule 3? What is the schedule 3? Schedule 3 is activity or the transaction which are neither supply of the goods or services. So it means if I'm a regular director of the company, I would be treated at par as employee of the company. So if I am getting the director remuneration, then there would be no question of tax because director remuneration is nothing but a salary out of GST. Circular 140 has clarified various things with respect to director remuneration. So let me open that respective part of the book, then we will discuss in detail. So if the director is a regular director on which TDS is being deducted under section 192 of the Income Tax Act, then the remuneration which I'm getting is nothing but the salary, no question of tax, neither by company nor by director, anybody. But they have explained one more thing. If the director is independent director, what is the definition of independent director? They have interlinked with the Companies Act. They have given section 49(6) ka reference. Independent director shall not be the employee of the company. It means if I am the director but not the regular director but independent director, whatever I am getting the amount, do the company need to pay the tax under RCM? Even on the remuneration part, the circular has interlinked the provision with the Companies Act, and they are saying that independent director cannot be the employee of the company. It means suppose Mr. A is an independent director with XYZ Limited, the relationship between them cannot be of employer-employee. And therefore, Schedule 3 will not come into the picture. Schedule 3 para 1 will not come into the picture. As a result, this transaction would be covered under reverse charge mechanism. Recipient will pay the tax. Company will pay the tax under RCM on independent director. Further, it has been clarified whether I am a regular director or independent director. Apart from the remuneration, if I'm getting anything from the company for providing any services like technical services, professional services, it will be under reverse charge. Let's read the language. Service provided by independent director who are not employee of the said company outside the Schedule 3 and taxable in the hand on reverse charge basis. I hope it is clear. Independent director who are not that is okay. Further, in case where it is ascertained that a director, irrespective of the name and designation, would need to be examined whether all activity performed are in the employer-employee relationship or in the element of the contract of services. If it is contract of the services, it will come under reverse charge. Now, the one part is again creating the problem. Let's say I'm giving another example. Let's say I'm a director. Mr. A is a director, regular director, not the independent director of XYZ Limited. Let's say I have the huge property, let's say. Now, at one property is at prime location, which I have rented to the company. And let's assume that it is a commercial property, not residential property, because if I will use our residential property, you might say applicability of 5AA into your mind. No, I am excluding the scope of 5AA. I am saying that suppose I have one commercial property, which I have given on rent to the company XYZ Limited. I am a director of the company and this property is in my own name. I am getting the rent of 21 lakh per annum. Please tell me, will the company pay the tax under reverse charge? Should I register and pay the tax under forward charge? Or there is no question of tax at all because I am unregistered person? Try to understand. I am a director. I have one commercial property given to the company. Company are paying the total amount 21 lakh. Now the question is, will the company pay the tax under reverse charge because of this serial number 6 of this RCM notification? Intentionally, I have not used the word residential because then you may think of 5AA also. Commercial property given to the company, property is in the director name. Now, what would be your answer? When I write it, talk about employer-employee because I have used the section 192 of income tax. So basically that is TDS on the salary. Chicken. Will it be forward charge? Will it be reverse charge? Will it be out of GST? No tax. Answer is para 6 of this RCM notification is limited to the service rendered by the director in its own capacity, in the personal capacity. If he is providing any other supply, if the director is providing any other supply the services, but not in own capacity, then the taxability would be either forward or in any other category of the reverse, but not under serial number 6. Be careful. Repeating once again, if the director providing the service to the company in its own capacity, then the question of RCM would be applicable or would come into mind. But if it is other services rendered to the company, not in own capacity, then there is no question of serial number 6. Why I am using the word serial number 6? Because it may fall in any other serial. Then the RCM would be applicable, but not because of the serial number 6. So company will not pay the tax on renting of immovable property by the director. Big confusion. I hope it is clear to all. So if the director getting the remuneration, remuneration on which TDS under section 192 of Income Tax Act has been deducted, not taxable in terms of the para 1 of the schedule 3. So if director remuneration have any other component other than the salary on which 194J of Income Tax Act, professional fees, technical fees, then in that case, it will be outside the negative list and it will be taxable under reverse charge basis. This we will discuss at a later stage. It is 9 subsection 5. ठीक है, वापस आते हैं. I hope the picture is clear with respect to the director taxability. I hope the picture is clear. Now, suppose I'm saying the director is that property is not the commercial. Suppose that property is the residential. Suppose that property is the residential. Then what would be your answer? My answer would be, it will not be under RCM by virtue of the serial number 6. Residential dwelling given to this company by the director is not covered under serial number 6. Not taxable under RCM by virtue of serial number 6. But my dear friend, we all know that new entry 5AA, it will fall under this category. Served by any person. They are not restricting to director. By any recipient, any registered person. They are not restricting to the body corporate or company. No. Any person giving the residential dwelling to the registered person, it will be taxable under reverse charge. So by virtue of this entry, the transaction, the example which I have given to you, suppose this example, in this example, this is not the commercial property. Suppose if this is the residential dwelling, what would be your answer? My answer would be, it is not because of serial number 6. It is because of the 5AA and fall under reverse charge mechanism. Recipient who is registered in the GST will pay the tax under reverse charge. I hope everything is clear with respect to paragraph 6 of RCM notification. Entry number 6. Okay. Any question? Let me see. Fine. ठीक है. And there is some question. GTA service to the cement manufacturing unit versus GTA service to the cement trading unit. Okay. So what is your question? Mr. Balaji, Mr. Mithikayala Balaji, kindly tell me what is your question. So I think you are comparing that entry which I have explained. So one is the manufacturing unit, which is body corporate or factory or partnership firm. Yes, they will pay the tax under reverse charge. Recipient, because it is covered in the 7 specified categories of recipient. But if he is a recipient is a individual person and unregistered, then he will be out from 7 specified categories and will be included in the serial number 21A of exemption notification, and therefore the service given by the GTA to individual, unregistered individual, will be exempted. No problem, Pooja. Late because of no problem. Rajiv is asking one question. Shall need to file the GTA is a private limited company. See, whatever the characteristic, whether it is a private company or public limited company or partnership firm or proprietorship firm, doesn't matter. If the supplier is the GTA and like to charge the GST on the invoice under forward charge basis, compulsorily file the declaration within the specified time limit. He has to file the declaration to opt forward charge. Otherwise, if he not opted forward charge, he not filed the declaration within the time limit, the transaction would itself be converted into the RCM or subject to the exemption notification. Mr. Rajiv, I hope it is clear, beta. Please confirm. ठीक है. Right, Mr. Balaji. If only covered under the 7 category. Now, there are various entries with respect to the service supplied by the insurance agent. Then insurance company will pay the tax under reverse charge. Recovery agent, then banking company or financial institution or NBFC will pay the tax under reverse charge. 9 and 9A. Earlier, author was covered in the serial number 9. Now I'm asking one question to all of you. Give me the answer. First, let me explain the serial number 9 and 9A, and then I will ask the question. Serial number 9 or 9A. 9A, earlier it was covered in the 9 only. It means if the author, music composer, photographer, artistic, the recipient, that music company, producer will pay the tax under reverse charge. What is the service? Service is content. They are transferring the or permitting the use or enjoyment of the copyright. Suppose I am the author of one book, okay, and I am giving the right on that book to you. You can publish in your name, okay. So for that right, I am taking, let's say, 10 lakh rupees per annum. On that 10 lakh, you need to pay the tax under reverse charge. Now, they have made the separate entry for author. They are saying supply of the service removed from 9, added in the new entry. They are saying supply of the service by author by way of the transfer or permitting the use or enjoyment or copyright. Who will pay the tax? Publishing company will pay the tax. Who is the supplier? Author. Now let's read at the bottom part. Now they are saying why there is a requirement of 9, separate entry of 9. Before explaining, let me ask one question to all of you. Let's say XYZ Limited, who is a, let's say, photographer company or artistic or music composer company, has given the transferred the permitting the copyright to let's say T series. Please note, XYZ Limited is already registered in the GST. He is getting 21 lakh from the T series. Now, please tell me who will pay the tax on this transaction? T series, XYZ, or out of GST? Let me repeat once again. Supplier is a body corporate registered in the GST. They are giving the right copyright on the content to the music company, T series. Who will pay the tax on this transaction of rupees 21 lakh? T series, XYZ, or no tax? Very important question, not because of this particular quality of the question, but conceptual regarding the development of the concept. This question is very important. Someone are saying XYZ will pay the tax. Some participant are saying, some student are saying T series will pay the tax. Fine. Let me see the answer of others also. Just giving you 30 seconds more. Let me see the answer of others also. Rajiv, Balaji, Pooja, Geeta, everyone, kindly be attentive in replying the question. My only request. Okay, I repeat. XYZ Limited, who is a supplier, composer, take a music composer. He's giving the content. He's giving the content to the T series for permitting or use of the copyright. Now the T series is giving the payment of rupees 21 lakh to this XYZ company. XYZ is already registered in the GST. Now he is a music composer. That company is a music composer company. Is giving the content of the permitting the use of the content of the copyright. Then who will pay the tax? Music composer, that is XYZ Limited. T series, that is music company, or no tax? That is my question. Let me go to the whether service provider is music composer. Whether service provider is music composer, answer is yes. What is the nature of the service? Transfer or permitting the use or enjoyment of the copyright? Answer is yes. So the condition with respect to the category is satisfied? G. Condition with respect to supplier is satisfied? Yes. Condition with respect to recipient is satisfied? Yes. All three is yes. It means only RCM. Only RCM. It can never be under forward charge, even though supplier is registered in the GST. Now the question is, I hope it is clear. You may ask counter question if you have. At the same time, I have asked one question that why the author has been excluded from the 9A, because they like to give the option of opting the forward charge. Repeating once again, they like to give the option of opting the forward charge to the author. Therefore, they have made new separate entry. And they are saying if the services by the author by way of the transfer or permitting the use of the copyright, same language, publishing company will pay the tax. And at the bottom, they are saying, but he has the option. He can choose to pay the tax forward charge. He has taken the registration and he has filed the declaration. Same thing. Again, author has to also file the declaration, which we have discussed in the GTA. It means if author like to opt forward charge, he can go. But in the one financial year, if he has filed the declaration, he cannot switch over to the RC. Then again, service provided by the member of overseeing committee constituted by the Reserve Bank of India. They do not have the relation of employer-employee relationship. So the tax will be paid by the Reserve Bank of India, whatever the amount paid to these members. Underline the word individual. Service direct selling agent. So they are on behalf of the bank, they are dispersing the loan. Okay. If banking company, financial institution, NBFC, they are providing, so individual DSA are providing the loan on behalf of the banking company. So whatever the fee of the individual DSA, who will pay the tax? The tax will be paid by the banks, NBFC. But if the supplier is the body corporate, partnership firm, LLP, it is not covered under RCM. So in that case, it will be under forward charge basis. Kindly give me the answer. Mr. A is a director. Mr. A is a director of XYZ Limited located in London. He is getting the director remuneration. Who will pay the tax on this director remuneration? XYZ? Or rather, you should give the answer, only one answer, whether XYZ will pay the tax under reverse charge or not. Whether XYZ, who is foreign company, will pay the tax under RCM on this director remuneration or sitting fees. Let's say sitting fees, because director remuneration, again the question will become that is it a regular director or independent director? Suppose I am regular director of XYZ Limited located in London. They are making the payment of my shitting face. Who will pay the tax? Whether XYZ will pay the tax under reverse charge on this transaction? Correct. Answer would be no. Why no? Always check whether all the conditions are satisfied or not. This is satisfied. This is satisfied. But company should be located in the taxable territory, not satisfied. If out of the three, any condition is not satisfied, no question of reverse charge. Coming back to the serial number 12. Service provided by the business facilitator. Serial number 13, business correspondent. Then the tax will be paid by the recipient under reverse charge. Who is the recipient? But whomsoever who is taking the services. Banking and etc. Now the serial number 14. Very important. This entry I will not explain. Entire entry is in front of you. I will only ask the question, you have to give the answer. I will not explain this serial number 14. मैं थोड़ा छोटा कर देता हूं. I hope it is visible. You have to give me the answer only. Question number 1. G4S Securities Private Limited, one company providing the security manpower to XYZ Limited. This is also registered. This is registered in the GST. Supplier as well as recipient is also registered in the GST. In this case, who will pay the tax? In this case, who will pay the tax? I will ask multiple questions on this serial number. Kindly give the answer. I will not explain because I have already explained 13 entries. Some of the entries in very, very detailed. So I feel I am not required to explain in detail. I am asking the question for bringing the clarity on this particular category of RCM. G4S Security Service Provider, G4S Securities Private Limited, providing the security services in terms of the manpower to the XYZ Limited. Both parties are registered in the GST. Will the RCM be applicable or forward charge or no tax? Along with reason. All the participants are requested to give me the answer along with reason to understand that what is the reason of your answer. So I will clear about your conceptual understanding. Please support your answer along with reason. In short, that is okay, but give me the reason. What is the reason why you are saying this is answer? Forward charge or RCM? I know that you will give the answer either forward charge or RCM. But why forward charge or why RCM? Please support that. Maximum participants are saying yes. 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 All are correct. Rajiv, you have given the reason. No, you are not given the reason. Yes, absolutely correct. So why forward charge? Because you are saying that supplier should be other than body corporate, but supplier is body corporate, therefore no question of RCM. Very nice. Very nice. XYZ Limited is a supplier providing, not XYZ Limited, let's say. Mr. A providing the manpower, housekeeping staff to XYZ Limited. Mr. A is unregistered person. XYZ Limited is registered person. supplying the manpower, total amount, yearly amount is 21 lakh, XYZ is giving to the Mr. A. Who will pay the tax? Forward charge, RCM, or no tax? Now this third I am adding. Why? Because supplier is unregistered. Will the answer be forward charge? Will the answer be RCM? Will the answer be no tax? Please give the answer along with reason. Very, very important question. Vanshika, RCM will not be applicable. Why? You have checked the recipient condition. You have checked the taxable territory condition, but you have not checked the supplier condition. Supplier should be other than body corporate in the last question I'm saying. Okay. So fine. Give me the answer of this question along with reason. Whether forward charge, RCM, or no tax. So Vinay has picked the point. Absolutely correct answer. No. X. Array, where is the condition of private limited other than body corporate? Where is the condition? The condition is with respect to supplier, not with respect to recipient. In the recipient, it is only saying that he should be registered, recipient should be registered and located in the taxable territory. Recipient can be private limited, can be partnership firm, can be any nature, any person. It should be only registered and located in the taxable territory. The condition that supplier should not be body corporate. This condition is not with respect to recipient, because one of the participants has given the answer that because recipient is a body corporate, so no RCM. I hope it is clear. Whomsoever is given. Very nice answer. Vinay, one more thing, or from all the participants I'm asking, in this question, supplier is not body corporate XYZ residence RCM. No. Fine. What was the main point which I like to highlight? You have checked with respect to supplier this time. You have checked with respect to recipient this time, but you have forgot to check with respect to category of services. What is the category? Service by way of security personnel. And what is the supply? Housekeeping staff. What is the nature of the transaction? Is it security? No, sir. It is housekeeping staff. Will it satisfy the condition of nature? Answer is no. Therefore, no RCM. Now, because no RCM and supplier is unregistered, what would be your answer? No RCM. So that is clear. Now, I'm saying that supplier is unregistered. Will it be forward charge or will it be no tax? My question to all of you, will it be forward charge or will it be no tax? So one possibility I clarified that it will not be covered under RCM. Now, if it is not covered under RCM, what would be your thought? Will it be under RCM or will it be under forward charge or it will be out of the GST or out of tax because supplier is unregistered? You have to check what is the amount. 21 lakh. It means it is exceeding the threshold limit. It means you will say whenever the limit is being crossed. I'm not saying that from day one they have to pay the tax, but because the total amount is 21 lakh, so the day when it is crossed threshold limit, supplier has to take registration and pay the tax under forward charge basis. ठीक है? So in this case, again, it says if security service given to the government. Which government? Who is registered under section 51 only. Only for the purpose of TDS. Only for the purpose of TDS. Then no RCM. No RCM. Further, they are saying in one more category, this is the only one single transaction wherein composition dealer are being excluded. They are saying if recipient is composition dealer, then also no RCM. So they are saying, can you please tell me, at one more place also, we have discussed if the recipient is the government registered only for the purpose of TDS, tax will not be paid by the recipient under RCM. What was that entry? I am repeating once again, similar to this entry, we have discussed at one more place that if the recipient is government under section 51 registered only for the purpose of TDS, RCM will not be applicable. Tell me where we have discussed this point. Similar to this, we have discussed at one more entry. At which entry? Yes, GTA, Goods Transport Agency. In that case, we have discussed if the recipient is the government who is registered only, please remember, only for the purpose of section 51. Now, again, the second 15, entry number 15, which we will discuss in detail. Okay, because analysis has been given in the institute material. What is the service? By way of renting of motor vehicle. Which motor vehicle? Which is designed to carry the passenger. Cost of the fuel is included in the consideration charged from the recipient. The supplier should be any person but other than body corporate who supplies service to the body corporate and does not issue invoice charging the CGST at the rate of 6%. It means CGST 6, SGST 6, it means 12%. What they are saying? They are saying supplier should be other than body corporate, condition number 1. Supplier should not charging the GST at the rate of 12%. So if he charging the GST at the rate of 12%, then what? Then RCM will not be applicable. RCM will not be applicable. It means forward charge. So what could be the possibility of the forward charge? Let's say if the supplier is the body corporate, then forward charge. If the supplier opting 12%, then forward charge. If supply is not renting of the motor vehicle designed to carry the passenger, let's say which is being designed to carry the goods, not RCM. Recipient is other than body corporate, not RCM. From not body, other than body corporate to body corporate, renting of motor vehicle designed to carry the passenger will be covered, provided rates should not be 12%. Now, one more thing which we are going to discuss in length. Let me reach to the respective entry. Service by way of renting of motor vehicle designed to carry the passenger. Okay. So if you see the rate notification 11/2017 CTR, you will find that there are two rates, 5% and 12%. 5% without ITC, but within that, they are saying the ITC would be available of the same nature. Input service in the same line of business. उसका ITC मिल जाएगा. 12% with all ITC, no restrictions. Okay. This is the rate. Now, person liable to pay tax under renting of motor vehicle services when GST is payable, where GST is payable at the rate of 5%. Then, if supplier is other than body corporate and recipient is the body corporate, then only RCM. Otherwise, let's say supplier is body corporate, recipient is other than body corporate, then forward charge. Okay. So in this case, it will not be RCM. Now, if the rate is 12%, no doubt about that, always forward charge. Okay. Now, this analysis is very, very important. It is important to note that when any service is placed under RCM, the supplier shall not charge any tax. That is okay. So, fine. That is okay. Here you like to understand. There is clear distinction between two services. One is service of the renting of the motor vehicle designed to carry the passenger. One is renting of motor vehicle designed to carry the passenger. So renting of motor vehicle, transportation of passenger for a period of time. For a period of time where the renter define how and when the vehicle will be operated, determine the schedule, routes, and etc. It means it is under the control of the receiver. Complete control under the receiver hand. And second is the passenger transportation services. So multiple times there would be the litigation and advance ruling is being furnished. What is that? Renting of the motor vehicle and passenger transportation service. It is covered in the two separate SAC, service accounting code. What is the SAC? What is the HSN? We will discuss. Little bit we will discuss in this chapter, but in detail you can refer the custom discussion. Passenger transportation services, predetermined route and predetermined schedule, where the body corporate hire the motor vehicle, like for employee transportation, for a period of time during which the motor vehicle shall be at the disposal of the recipient. Then it is a service of category renting of motor vehicle and it will fall under the reverse charge. Now read this. And it has been clarified under circular 177. Where the body corporate avail the passenger transportation services for a specific journey and does not take the vehicle on rent for any period of time. Let's say I have taken, I booked the cab in Ola, assuming Ola is, for the timing, for this entry, I'm assuming that Ola is not the private limited company. Suppose Ola is other than private company. If I booked the cab for office, let's say I'm going from one location to the client location for which I have taken the cab, booked the cab from Ola, and Ola is giving the invoice, whether my company will pay the tax and the reverse charge? Answer is no, because it is not the service of renting of motor vehicle designed to carry the passenger. It is passenger transportation service, and therefore it will fall under forward charge. And body corporate shall not be liable to pay the GST under RCM. Clear? एक बार कंफर्म करना मुझे एक बार. Is it clear to all? This part was very important. Last entry of services under reverse charge. Last question. Oh, is it? Wait for last 20 minutes. I will ask multiple questions. Rest to be sure, sir. When I'm very good in asking the question. I'm not sure whether I'm good in teaching the stuff or not, but I'm very good in asking the question. So that's to be sure. Last 20 minute revision of entire discussion. Chale sir? Chalo. Entry number 16. This scheme we have discussed in the last chapter. Supply, lending of security under SEBI. So the borrower will pay the tax under reverse charge. So I'm not required to spend any time on this entry. We have already covered. All these above is service entry. Now, there is a two more services which is only under IGST. Why? Because it is import ka transaction. First, any service supplied by any person who is located in non-taxable territory to any person other than non-taxable online recipient. Then who will pay the tax? The recipient will pay the tax. Who is the recipient? Any person located in the non-taxable territory will pay the tax. Now, what is this? It is import of service. So let's say I'm Indian entity. I have taken the import software license from the outside India, to whom I am paying the amount in the foreign currency. All the conditions are satisfied, whatever the condition for import of services, then I need to pay the tax under reverse charge. I have taken certain professional consultancy. I have taken, let's say, some access to any photography stuff. I will pay the tax under reverse charge. Please let me know in detail. This is my question to all of you. Why they have excluded? Why they are saying other than? In short, I am using the word NTOR. Why they are saying other than NTOR? NTOR means non-taxable online recipient. Why they are saying other than NTOR in the serial number 1? Why they are saying other than NTOR? This is the important question. The reason is, let's say GoDaddy.com. Okay. Providing the online service. We have used the name OIDAR, Online Information Database Access Retrieval, OIDAR services, to XYZ Limited, who is registered in the GST. Registered in the GST. Let's say XYZ Limited purchase the domain from the GoDaddy.com, paying the amount in the foreign currency or INR, I don't know, whatever. Then in that case, XYZ need to pay the tax under RCM because of the serial number 1. But at the same time, Mr. A has purchased the domain. A is unregistered person. In that case, I hope you remember section 24 clause 11. Mandatory registration. These supplier of OIDAR located out of India has to take mandatory registration when they are providing the service to the NTOR. Therefore, no RCM. That is the reason they are saying other than NTOR. Other than NTOR, it means because if they provide the service to NTOR, non-taxable online recipient, in short, I can say unregistered only. But if they provide the service to the NTOR, then the recipient will not pay the tax. Liability shifted to those online company by virtue of the section 24(11) of CGST Act. They have to pay the tax under forward charge. Now, this entry is there as of now, as per the, so till now I'm teaching the as per this study material, which is I think April month edition. It is April 2023 edition. So whatever the changes are there, that will be covered by the statutory update. But what is this entry? This entry has been struck down by Supreme Court. This entry has been struck down by the Supreme Court in case of the Mohit Mineral judgment. So in the statutory update, when you read the statutory update, so whatever the changes are made after April until the date of applicability of your exams. In the statutory update, you will find this entry has been omitted also. Why entry has been omitted? It says that if, let's say, A has imported the goods, import of goods. Supplier, let's say Mr. John. Now, the goods has been purchased by Mr. A on CIF basis. Cost, insurance, freight. Cost, insurance, freight. So that entry was saying that this importer should also pay the tax on ocean freight by assuming 10% of CIF under RCM. Supreme Court has given the verdict that if Mr. A has purchased the goods on CIF, it is nothing but a composite supply, wherein principal supplies goods and A has paid the taxes at the time of import of the goods. So he has discharged the tax as per the section 8 of CGST Act, whatever the tax liability in case of the composite supply. So it cannot be taxed again. So therefore, this entry was struck down by the Supreme Court, and in statute update, you will find this entry is struck down. You can read this particular point at body. This is important. LLP is treated as partnership firm or firm. They have given the definition of insurance agent. Renting of immovable property means allowing, permitting, or granting the access, entry, occupation, use, or any such facility, fully or partly, in an immovable property with or without the transfer of the possession or control of the said immovable property, include letting, leasing, licensing, or other similar arrangement in respect of immovable property. The permission of reverse charge, provision of RCM notification. This is also very, very important. Suppose Supreme Court. My question. Supreme Court has given the space to the Bharti Airtel, to the Jio, for installing the tower. So Supreme Court has given the access to the business to that property. Supreme Court ka jo building hai uska property hai. They have given the property on rent, and for which they are charging X amount. Bharti Airtel is giving the amount to the Supreme Court. Now the question was, will the Supreme Court pay the tax under forward charge? Will Bharti Airtel pay the tax under reverse charge? The answer was given by this wording, that RCM notification, insofar they apply to the central government, state government, will also apply to the parliament, state legislature, court, and tribunals. So you remember, if the renting of immovable property by the government to registered, it will come under RCM. So in this example, property of Supreme Court given to Bharti Airtel fall under RCM. This we have discussed, and this 3 entry we have discussed, right, in detail. Now we need to move the classification that we will discuss in the, let's read. So there would be the classification of the goods and classification of services. Okay. So the classification of the goods means identification of the section, chapter, heading, subheading, and tariff. Section, chapter, heading, subheading, and tariff. will be classified. So we need to read, it's a completely theory. Let's allow 5 minutes or 10 minutes so that we can read the entire discussion. Chapter heading, subheading, tariff are referred as in the schedules of the rate notification of goods. That is 1 by 2017. In 1 by 2017, there are multiple schedules. So one schedule for 5%, one schedule for 12%, one schedule for 18, one schedule for 28, one schedule would be for 3%, likewise. And so schedules of rate notification for goods under GST are the chapter, heading, subheading, and tariff item of the first schedule to the Custom Tariff Act. Indian Custom Tariff is based on HSN. What is the HSN? Harmonized System of Nomenclature. What is this HSN? It is multi-purpose international product nomenclature developed by the WCO, World Custom Organization, for the purpose of classifying the goods across the world in systematic manner. It comprises of 5,000 commodity groups, each identified by the 6-digit code. Code can be extended, arranged in the legal and logical structure, supported by the well-defined rule of achieving uniform classification. India has extended to 8 digits. Along the line of the HSN, the Indian Custom Tariff has set the rules of interpretation of the first schedule and general explanatory notes. These rules and the general explanatory note give the clear direction as to how the nomenclature in the schedule to be interpreted. We'll complete in 5 minutes. Just read the language. These rules for the interpretation, including the section, chapter note, and the general explanatory note for the first schedule, apply to the interpretation of the rate notification for the goods under GST also. As a result, GST goods are classified on the basis of HSN in accordance with the rule for interpretation of custom tariff. Same have been discussed in chapter 3, classification of import and export of the goods, in module 4 of the study material. Now, classification of service. Scheme of classification of service has been devised under GST. It is a modified version of the United Nations Central Product Classification. Under this scheme, service of the various description have been classified under various section, heading, groups. Under chapter 9, so chapter 99 has been assigned for services. So you will see the service code would always start with 99. In the 99, the different section has been given. For construction, section 5, trader services 6, financial services 7, business product 8, likewise. Again, each section is divided in chapter, section, heading, group, tariff, etc. GST rate, which I told you that there are multiple rates given in the various schedule of the notification number 1. With regard to IGST, broadly, 7 rates have been notified in the 7th schedule of the rate notification. First is 0.25, then 1.5, then 3, then 5, then 12, then 18, then 28. So you can visit the website for the complete schedule of the GST rate. Certain specified goods have been exempted under the GST and the notification number 2 by 2017. Similarly, for services, there are the rate are 0.75%, 2.5%, 3.75%, 6%, 9%, and 14%. Equivalent CGST, SGST, UTGST rate also there. Real estate sector. What is that? So the GST, as I told you that the effective rate of the GST on the real estate sector for on or after 1/4/2019 for new project, 1% and 5%. What is the 1%? Actually, the Actual tax rate is 1.5% and 7.5%. What is actual tax rate and effective tax rate? You please need to understand. Actual tax rate is 1.5% and 7.5%. In that rate notification, there is 1/3 deduction on account of cost of land, because sale of land is covered in the Schedule 3. So there cannot be the GST on the sale of land. So they are saying in case of the property, 1/3 would be cost of land. So the balance 2/3 would be the GST considered as a construction services. So what is the 2/3 of 1.5%? So 1.5 is the gross tax rate, actual tax rate minus 1/3, that is 0.5. So effective tax rate comes to 1%. Similarly, in the 7.5%, so 1 for the affordable and 7.5 for the non-affordable. What is the affordable? 60 square meter in metro and 90 square meter in non-metro, plus value is 45 lakh. But in case of the non-affordable, rate is 7.5% against, again 1/3 is the deduction. So effective tax rate of GST would be 5%. Both rates are without ITC. So they are saying all houses other than affordable houses or commercial apartments such as offices in a residential RREP, in which the carpet area is not more than 15% of the total carpet area. So again, they are saying there is a concept of RREP, residential real estate project. So in RREP, if it has commercial apartment up to 15% of the total carpet area, then it will have the same rate, that is 5%. Now, I was talking about that in the 9 subsection 4, there is one sector brought into RCM, that is from 1/4/2019, 9 subsection 4 was made applicable on real estate sector. There are total 3 entry in that notification. First talking about, first read second, or cement. So if cement has been purchased by the promoter from unregistered, it will fall under RCM. Cement should be 100% from registered party. Then third serial number, they are saying capital goods. So the capital goods should be 100% from registered party, and rest input and input service. They are saying 80% should be from registered, max to max 20 can be from unregistered. Read. 80% of the input or input service should be from registered. Why they are excluding these items? FSI, TDR, etc. Because these are covered in the 9 subsection 3 under serial number 5B and 5C. You remember long-term lease, transfer of the development right, FSI or additional FSI. We have discussed in the serial number 5B and 5C of 9.3. So that is covered in the 9.3 and rest are covered in the 9.4. 80-20 is covered in the 9.4. In case of the cement, the rate is 28%. In case of this input and input service, the rate is 18%. In case of the capital good, respective rate would be applicable. So one thing I think it is, let me see, let me go to the back, and I think name of the goods has been missed by me. Supply the goods under RCM. So we have discussed cashew nuts, BD wrapper, tendu leaf, tobacco leaf, raw cotton, supply the lottery, local authority, etc., silk yarn, used vehicle by the government, priority sector lending certificate. These, if supplied by the respective person which is being written in the notification, then it will covered under reverse charge. This is the list of the goods. And we have completed services. We have completed import also. And from in next class, that is on whenever you have the class, 5th, correct? We will start from this airport levies and then we'll move to the composition chapter. From my side, today class is over. Let me start the quick round of the question answer. If you have any query, you may ask. Otherwise, I will start the quick round of the question answer. So from here, we will start in the next class. So NTOR is not Indian. It is Indian but unregistered. नेक्स्ट क्लास से कंपोजिशन, हाँ करेक्ट, इसी का पार्ट है, चार्ज ऑफ द जीएसटी का सेकंड पार्ट है कंपोजिशन, इफ आई एम नॉट मिस्टेकनली. सो इट इज सेक्शन 10 है ना, it is section 10 that I will cover in the next class. Composition. Any question if you have, you may ask. Otherwise, I will start the quick round of the question answer. 80% thing in the real estate. So what happened? See, 9 subsection 4 of reverse charge was made applicable on real estate sector. They are saying if supplier is unregistered, recipient, that is promoter developer is registered, need to pay the tax under reverse charge. They have divided 3 categories. Cement, 100% should be from registered. Capital goods, 100% should be from registered. But rest, they are saying 80-20. It means rest input and input service. 80% should be from registered. Maximum 20 can be from unregistered. So because normally sometime we need to purchase the goods, that promoter has to purchase the goods or taken the services from unregistered party also. So they are saying 20 is allowed, but 80 has to be from registered. If it is unregistered, RCM would be applicable at the rate of 18%, of which ITC will not be allowed. Clear? Please confirm. Aniket, first question to all of you. What could be the maximum GST rate? What could be the maximum tax rate in the GST? What could be the maximum tax rate of GST? What could be the maximum tax rate of GST? Answer is 40%, 20% CGST, 20% SGST. Next question. On which category of the transaction the tax will not be calculated and paid according to the GST provision? On which category of the transaction the tax will not be calculated according to the GST provision, according to the GST, but it would be according to any other law? On which category of the transaction the GST, instead of GST, the other provision would be applied and paid at that point of time? On which particular transaction? The answer is import of goods. In case of the import of the goods, the tax will be calculated and paid according to the custom. tax will be calculated and paid according to the custom. Next question to all of you. Please tell me the non-taxable supplies. Please tell me non-taxable supplies. What is the non-taxable supplies? Please tell me the non-taxable supplies. Please tell me the non-taxable supply. Please tell me non-taxable supply. Please tell me the non-taxable supply. Which are the non-taxable supply? So non-taxable supply, we know that not leviable to tax. But please tell me the name of those non-taxable supply. Answer is 1 plus 5. 1 is alcoholic liquor for human consumption and 5 is specified petroleum product like petroleum crude, HSD, motor spirit, natural gases, aviation turbine fuel. In the GST, we had discussed that broadly there is two type of the RCM, 9.3 and 9.4. Can you tell me what is the major difference in 9.3 and 9.4? Yes, I'm able to see the message. All are requested to connect through LinkedIn because आप लोग जब एग्जाम क्लियर करते हैं तो दिस इज द ओनली वे वेर इन आई कैन हैव द मैसेज. सो जब इंटर का रिजल्ट आता है या फाइनल का रिजल्ट आता है तो आई एम वेटिंग दैट यू ऑल पीपल, यू ऑल स्टूडेंट विल मैसेज एंड pass the good news to me. So all are requested to connect through LinkedIn profile. Some of them already connected in LinkedIn. So because this is the only way to connect with you. Otherwise, there is no any other way to connect with you. So my humble request, CA Arun Chhajar, you can just type in the LinkedIn. Only professionally we are connected. And वैसे भी मैं मतलब I am not teaching into the CA Inter CA Final anywhere else. So there is no marketing tools at all. It is not the marketing. Only request, connect. And reason is so that I can informed by all of you when you clear your exams. What is the main difference in 9 subsection 3 and 9 subsection 4? In 9.3, supplier can be registered or supplier can be unregistered. But in the 9 subsection 4, that is mandate requirement, supplier has to be unregistered. Supplier has to be unregistered. In 9.3, we have discussed multiple things in detail. We are starting with the GTA. Can GTA opt 5% and 12% at same time? क्या GTA 5% and 12% opt कर सकता है at the same time? Can GTA opt 5 and 12 both at the same time? Yes, he can. He can. My LinkedIn is simple, CA Arun Chhajar. So what is the name? The name is Arun Chhajar. You can see the spelling, exactly same spelling. You can search in the LinkedIn and you all are connected, already connected. Multiple people you may see already connected. The majority are CA student or CA final student only. The answer is yes, it can be. We know that if the GTA giving the service to the 7 specified categories of the recipient, then it is under RCM. What about if the GTA providing the service to other than 7 specified categories of the recipient? अगर जीटीए उन 7 लोगों को छोड़ देता हूं, मैं 7 स्पेसिफाइड कैटेगरी को हटा दूं, सो व्हाट अबाउट द टैक्सेबिलिटी? जीटीए प्रोवाइडिंग द सर्विस to other than 7 category, then what would be the taxability? Let's say individual who is not registered in the GST, shopkeeper. Answer is that service provided by the GTA to recipient other than 7 category. So service itself would be exempted, no question of tax. Next question. We have discussed one category wherein if that recipient is composition dealer, then it will not be fall under reverse charge. In which category we have discussed if the recipient is composition dealer, then RCM will not be applicable. Out of 16 category of services, not 16, I can say total 20. Out of the total 20 category of services, in one of the category we have discussed, if the recipient is composition levy, then RCM will not be applicable. The answer is security services. Answer is security services. Can you tell me what is the entry which is applicable on real estate sector under 9.3 and under 9.4? Entries of reverse charge which is applicable to the real estate sector under section 9.3, and also tell me the entries which is applicable under RCM as per section 9 subsection 4. Means I'm talking about which all under RCM for real estate sector. Just tell me in short. Just tell me in short. रियल एस्टेट सेक्टर पर कौन सी एंट्री 9.3 में रिवर्स चार्ज में आएगी, कौन सी एंट्री 9.4 रिवर्स चार्ज में आएगी? Answer is in the 9.3 we have discussed two serial number 5B and 5C, wherein transfer development right, FSI, additional FSI will fall under reverse charge and promoter will pay the tax. In case of the 9 subsection 4, we have discussed cement, capital goods, and that should be 100% from registered. Other services and other goods, input and input services, there is a ratio of 80-20. Can you please tell me what is the actual tax rate and what is the effective tax rate in non-affordable house? What is the actual tax rate? What is the effective tax rate for non-affordable house? In case of the real estate sector, what is the tax rate actual and effective for other than affordable house? Answer is actual tax rate is 7.5%. Effective will be calculated by giving the 1/3 deduction on account of the land. Then actual effective tax rate will be 5%. Next question. Please explain the renting of immovable property given by the government, when it will be under forward charge, when it will be under RCM. Renting of the property given by the renting of the property given by the renting of the property given by the government. Please tell me when it will be under forward charge, when it will be under RCM. Renting of immovable property, when it will be under forward charge, when it will be under RCM. If recipient is registered in the GST, then it will be under RCM. If recipient is unregistered in the GST, then it will be under forward charge. In the same line, please explain when residential dwelling is given on rent, residential dwelling given on rent for the purpose of residence to the registered party, to the unregistered party, what would be the taxability? My question is, when residential dwelling given on rent for the purpose of residence only to registered party, what would be the taxability? To unregistered party, what would be the taxability? When recipient is registered, what would be the taxability? When a recipient is unregistered, what would be the taxability? Answer is, if the recipient is registered, then RCM. If recipient is unregistered, it would be exempted in the GST. It would be exempted in the GST. Please tell me, when director remuneration given by the body corporate will not become under RCM and when it will come under reverse charge. My question is, this is probably last question, director remuneration given to the director by the body corporate, when it will be under RCM, when it will not be under RCM. Yes. डायरेक्टर रेमुनेशन कब आरसी में आएगा, कब जीएसटी के बाहर चला जाएगा? If director is independent director who cannot be the employee of the company, it will always become under reverse charge. But if the director who is employee of the company getting like a salary, employer-employee relationship, TDS deducted under 192, it will be under schedule 3 para 1 and therefore out of GST. Therefore out of GST. Last question, renting of motor vehicle designed to carry the passenger, when it will be not fall under reverse charge, rather it will fall under forward charge. Renting of renting of motor vehicle, which motor vehicle designed to carry the passenger, when this particular transaction will be under forward charge, not under RCM. Possible situation. What could be the possible situation when renting of the motor vehicle designed to carry the passenger will be under forward charge, not under RCM? What could be the possible scenario? Please tell me. This is the last question. renting of motor vehicle designed to carry the passenger, cost of the fuel is included in the cost of the fuel is being collected from the recipient when it will be under forward charge and not under RCM. When supplier, okay, multiple possibility. The first point is if the supplier is body corporate, absolute correct. If the supplier is body corporate, then it will be under forward charge, absolutely correct. If rate of the taxes is 12%, obviously correct. Oh, recipient is other than body corporate, absolutely correct. So four possibility can be there. If recipient is other than body corporate, if supplier is body corporate, if the rate of the tax is 12%, then it will be under forward charge, not under reverse charge. Thank you very much. From my side, today class is over. Over to you for 1 minute if you have any question. Otherwise, we can conclude our today discussion. I am waiting for 1 minute for your any question or query. Let me discuss. Otherwise, we can conclude our today discussion. Thanking each one of you for your active participation. Right when I बहुत बढ़िया वंशिका. Chalo, good night to all of you. We'll meet in the next class and we'll start with from airport levy, then composition levy we will move and we will complete the charge of the GST. Thank you. Good night to all of you. अशोक जी आप कंप्लीट कर सकते हैं आज का